probably from the Shell folks, I think to admit any of the yeah.
Familiar
You
face.
can help that with that, Hannah? Okay, yeah, thanks. You can help with that while I'm presenting lah. Okay. All right. So good afternoon, good evening, everyone. So thanks for joining our HSSE sharing. We name it as a stand down because this is an incident. These are incidents which have happened very recently in our TNS operations around the globe. So I think it warrants that we share all of these incidents and we relate back our own operations as well in Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, and Hong Kong as well. So we've compiled all these 5 incidents for you guys to take a look. And then we've also posted how do they relate to us here? And what are some of those questions that you need to ask yourselves or that you need to ask your captains and ensure that our captains are aware of these as well.
Okay, before that, Hakim, if I can tee this off first, quickly, good afternoon, Assalamualaikum everyone. To me, this is a learning stand down. Yeah, I rather do this rather than, the difficult stand down that we have to face ourselves. Yeah. And I can just, share the emails out, the deck out cold, but I'd rather do verbalize and have conversation with each one of us, assessing the intensity or the severity of the incident that had happened to somebody else, not us. Yeah. So to me, it is very important for us to learn, yeah, for us to reflect and do check at our own backyard and make sure that none of this happen in our patch SEA Hong Kong. Yeah. So Ben, this is the email from Shairan. Yeah, I felt that it is very, very relevant to us and therefore suggesting this learning stand down. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Over back to you.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So before we begin, everyone, I think just quick safety briefing. If any of you are at your offices or at home, know what your alarm sounds like and know where your emergency exits are. And if you're on the move inside a car and you are driving and taking this call, please drop off the call and join when you've stopped later. All right. 5 incidents that we'd like to stand down or talk about in this call. The first one is on the electrical arc flash. So recently we've had an electrical arc flash and this caused fatalities from this incident. The second is a marshal being hit by a truck during reversing. Third is staff experiencing seizures and chest pains during work. Fourth, a worker who suffered injury after tripping over a loading arm. And number 5, a street lamp that fell from 8 meters height. So we'll go through one by one. First on the electrical arc flash, which caused a fatality.
Kamu ini ya?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first incident, this happened. I can't recall where. I believe in India. It was an electrical arc flash at a 220 kilovolt substation. And yes, it was a work-related incident where the contractor, which consisted of three persons, their team had taken out a permit to carry out some testing activities at this 220 kV substation. During testing, there was an electrical short circuit, and this electrical short circuit resulted in an arc flash, which directly impacted the 3 workers who were working just in front of that substation. Because of this arc flash, 2 of the workers sustained life-threatening injuries and were later pronounced deceased. The 3rd worker is hospitalized and is receiving specialist care. Yes, so this incident occurred in our TNS operations, and it is, I think, very very scary since we recently also had an electrical incident of our own over in our operations as well. So how does this tie to all of us? I think
In road transport.
yeah, in road transport. Because although road transport doesn't work in 220 kV substation, but we
Wow. A small minute scale then, but can lead to something else. Yeah.
yeah, the link there is for us on that short circuit. And I think we bring us back to that PLS sparking incident we had last year, which was also a result of a short circuit. And I think in terms of potential, was also had also the potential to bring about quite a big effect. So back in 2025, if we all remember, we did the sand down and also the sharing of L1. We had a PLS sparking in Indonesia where because of some exposed wires which contacted the PLS body and resulting in a short circuit, the entire PLS body was energized. When there was a metal contact between the PLS frame and the API lever, so over here we can see my mouse, this caused sparks to happen during loading. And during loading, there was vapor around and they actually caught fire at the vapor adapter over here. So that's why you see it's full of fire extinguisher dust. So what are some of those insights? Let me remind everyone on those insights we had from this incident. The PLS was grounded. This was from the supplier that the PLS was only grounded by the battery. So that means if we had a loose battery, the grounding would be poor, and then there would be stray currents all along the rest of the circuit. The PLS was installed inside this API box because there was, I think, a potential or risk of theft of the PLS in the area. So which is why it was installed inside compared to where the other countries have installed it outside. And maintenance work had just occurred on the battery 1 week prior to this incident occurring. So because of a combination of the battery, of the exposed wires, and the fact that the grounding was only through that battery and having a loose battery meant poor grounding, a short circuit occurred, that spark occurred, and ultimately the fire happened at our loading bay. Going, I think, a few learnings that I want to ask all our hauliers to take care of, to take mind of. I've got 5 questions here. What is the voltage of the electrical power at your workplace? So previously in the incident, we had 220 kilovolts. Our trucks are running on 24-volt batteries. But even with 24 volts, I think you can see we still have that electrical danger, especially if we have short circuits, exposed wires, or unmaintained connections as well. So what controls do you have in your operations to prevent or identify electrical system issues? So this was because of an exposed wire. How could you have prevented or identified that this wire was loose or in the insulation was melted? What controls do you have in place in your maintenance, in your daily checks to identify that? How does going to number 3, how do your maintenance staff regularly inspect those electrical systems and ensure that those connections are good? So it's not just us inspecting from a once-off. Perhaps the captain can do that for simple items, but in our rota B, in our servicing that we do on a regular basis, to what depth do we really take a look at our electrical systems? For our captains, what level of understanding do they have on electrical safety? Things relating to bonding, things relating to battery connections, to our equipment on our trucks, for example, the PLS, the overfill sensors, the EBS. How much do they understand about the electrical safety of all of these items? And finally, and I think this is very relevant, especially in light of the incident we had last year, the PLS incident. How do we ensure that all of our electrical systems on the truck, so that's our PLS, our EBS, our overfills, for example, how do we know that they are installed properly and they are maintained properly according to our supplier recommendations? So these are, I think, a few questions from this electrical art flash learning. I think I want to pause here, perhaps invite Punina as well to give a few words about their incident which they had last year. Any insights or anything that strikes you close to home, especially with this art flash incident. So maybe we can have Pak Joko or Pak Herbert if he's online.
Oh ya Pak Hakim.
Ya.
Oke Pak, mungkin apa yang jadi ini ya insight kami adalah gini, yang jadi pertimbangan adalah ini kan. Sebenarnya kan praktek untuk penggunaan PLS ini kan menjadi hal yang umum terjadi di beberapa negara ya, terjadi Malaysia, Singapura, Indonesia dan beberapa negara ya. Nah, kami selama ini menganggap bahwa istilahnya apa yang kami lakukan itu sudah aman ya, tapi ada beberapa resiko yang kami belum pernah identifikasi ya kemarin ya, yang pada saat pemasangan PLS tersebut. Nah, kami juga luput dari resiko bahwa kami juga tidak memperhitungkan bahwa pemasangan PLS tersebut kami lakukan di dalam kotak EPA di cas palep ya. Nah, itu sebenarnya kan di dalam kotak EPA di cas palep itu bisa muncul paper yang tersisa ya dari proses loading itu. Nah, itu adalah sesuatu yang bisa didapatkan kami luput dari identifikasi risiko kami, Pak Hakim dan teman-teman yang di online seperti itu. Yang kami lakukan ya. Jadi ya kami belajar dari sini bahwa kita juga perlu memperhitungkan risiko-risiko yang timbul dari aktivitas-aktivitas baru seperti itu yang kami dapatkan ya. Yang insight yang perlu kami pelajari from this incident, Pak Hakim.
Alright, thanks Pak Joko.
So the gist of it is because Pak Joko is conversing in Bahasa Indonesia, I think we have our friends in Hong Kong as well who will not be able to. Yeah, please, Hakim.
So translating what Pak Joko said, I think they did not expect that the placement of that AP of the PLS close to the API and close to the vapor adapter could have caused a spark, could have caused a risk of fire, because they did not anticipate that sparking risk either. So coming out of that, they realized that to prevent this incident from happening in the future, one of the actions that they are taking is to relocate that PLS to first clear it off metal-to-metal contact.
I think the important part here is about risk identification. Yeah. Obviously this is something that they don't see it before, and got into this incident to realize. So sometimes we need to look close. Sometimes we need to look wide as well. Yeah, to identify risks. Okay. Let's move.
I think for this risk, it just reminds us of proper burning and bonding and installation of electrical equipment on our truck.
Yeah.
I think that's very, very important. We sometimes take it for granted because it's 12-volt DC.
Before.
We think it's or 24-volt, and we think it's safe, not very high. But as you can learn here, even 1.5-volt also you can up and spark also. Thanks.
Next.
All right. Next. Before I move on, any questions about electrical arc flash? Okay, let's move on.
Still, I think coming back to this arc and short circuit, be careful when you're at your base. Don't meddle with electrical, items, in your base. Get the proper work permit. Get the accredited people to handle electrical items lah at your place. Yeah.
Even in your working base juga lah, and the electrical systems.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Moving on to a marshal being hit by a truck during reversing. So this incident occurred in Turkey, and it was at an LPG discharging area. So our driver went to this mobility station to discharge LPG at this station. And at this station, reversing was required. So they had a marshal, where's my mouse? A marshal to marshal the truck backwards into the discharging area. While the marshal was giving instructions for the driver to reverse, the driver actually, the driver reversed to a point where it actually hit the marshal's left leg. Okay, so the marshal's left leg was hit during the marshalling activity. So they stopped work and then they took a look at the situation. Luckily, there was no serious injury to the employee. So in this case, it was more of a high potential incident, which could have become a bit more serious. So this incident, I think, reminds us of that Peshawar incident back in 2022. And I think it also comes with additional learnings as well. So just for us to remind ourselves, let's take a look at what 2022 Peshawar incident was all about. This was a fatality which occurred at Peshawar, Pakistan during reversing. Similar work that was being done as well. The tanker was reversing into the discharge site, and then there was a marshaller who was guiding the driver. At Peshawar, this was reversing at dark, and the lights at the site were not working. And the marshal actually, during the marshalling, crossed into the line of fire multiple times. The captain did not actually rely on the marshal. Why? Because it was a dark period of time and the lights were not working. So he was relying on the intensity of his reverse lights at the wall. As a result of this, the marshal was pinned to the wall and later sustained injuries, which caused a fatality. The insights coming from this Peshawar incident, just as a reminder to all our hauliers, is to be clear on the roles and responsibilities of the captain and marshal. What in that moment are you supposed to know, and what are you supposed to do? In this case, the marshal was supposed to always stay in the line of sight of the driver, and the captain similarly as well, to always have the marshal in his or her side mirror. Second, walking in the line of fire is another insight that we found. The marshal was walking behind the tanker multiple times. This should have been a red flag for the captain to stop work, remind the marshal not to walk ever in the line of fire, whether it is in front or behind the truck when it is moving. Another insight on lighting, because it was dark and the marshal did not wear a high visibility jacket. So this is on PPE. So that's why our captain relied on the intensity of the reverse light on the wall. And there was also an increase in truck size compared to before, which means safety clearance during reversing. And I think we see this a lot in our sites when we upgrade from T4 to T7, and suddenly we don't have as much reversing room as we did before. What are some of those learnings for our captains, especially for our captains during reversing? First of all, since we've shared that Peshawar incident, I'd like all of you guys to go back to that stand down pack, to those learnings, and take a look again. Are those learnings in place and are they effective? Coming in from this incident, we find that the marshal's distance to the truck is also something to be questioned. So do our captains know if a marshal is too close to the truck during reversing? In this case, it was close enough to hit the employee's left leg. Do our captains know about the line of fire? Do they know about where the marshal should and should not be? And to stop work, and this is very important, to stop work if anyone enters the line of fire, be it the marshal or any third party, if they enter the line of fire, to stop work, to reassess the situation. Fourth, do our captains know that our marshal must always be visible in the side mirror during marshalling? Do our captains know this? I think it's good for all our hauliers to go back to the ground, to our toolboxes, right? Quiz our captains on these questions. Do they know? Do they know? Do they know? And if they don't, let's refresh them, show them that incident again, remind them why it is important for them to know at least these golden rules of marshalling and reversing. Our fifth point is on PPE. So do our captains and site heroes intervene if either of them wear insufficient PPE, maybe someone's not wearing a hard hat or a high vis, do we intervene or do we just let it be? And number 6, are our captains aware of how many marshals are required for the site? Because some sites have 1, some have 2. Where should they be situated? And I think this is especially important when there are many marshals, so that the captain knows where these marshals are supposed to be. And if 1 or 2 marshals are missing, then that's cause for the captain to stop work.
So even we need one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if there is no marshal, there is no risk of people getting injured.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I think maybe to share some insights or thoughts about this incident, can I call upon Pifaria, Amirul, Izham, or Adila, maybe share some of your thoughts, some of your messaging to the captain about reversing. Pifaria team?
She's on the line as well.
Ichi on the line.
Kichi, you can take over, Kichi. I saw Lynn also dial in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perhaps RTSOs, have some messages that you always give to the captain about reversing. How often do we do this? Pifaria team tak ada?
Izham is on the line.
Ada. Preferred team ada.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Sambung lah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think in terms of reversing, apart from being partly part of the training module yang kita ada cover dalam training, another thing is that we always get this thing to be macam not say role play lah, but then we get captain to understand why reversing is very important. For example, kalau kata you are sitting in a large truck, that what do you expect from the side hero and what the side hero basically expected from you. Sometimes the understanding is that whenever there is people doing the marshalling, they just know berdiri di belakang truck, just stand behind the truck, but then they don't really know, or maybe if the side hero is new, maybe he doesn't really know what he's supposed to do. So captain, we always tell the captain, don't assume, even though it's a trained person, don't assume that he basically knows which direction that you need to reverse or where is the place that you want to reverse. If there is something that you need help from the side hero, you can just buka tingkap ataupun you just turun cakap dengan dia, I need to reverse this direction, have that discussion first, and I need you to be seated over here, this side, so that I can see you. Rather than just relying, say, he's supposed to know because I reversing, he's supposed to be at the point where I should see him. So we need to have that conversation. That small conversation basically actually helps to reduce this kind of incident lah, or prevent this kind of incident. So that is what we communicated lah, basically with the captains.
Right. Thanks, Amirul. I think that's good
Hakim,
message not to assume.
Hakim, sorry,
go ahead.
additional from Amirul just now. What we always remind our captain is please practice goal lah, basically. Go out and look if you are not confirming or you have some ragu-ragu or what. Please practice and always practice. Go out and look during reversing's.
UL.
GOAL. Go out and look.
Oh, go out and look. Sorry. Yeah.
Can I ask do we have any data points where hauliers are tracking if captains are reporting where there's no marshal or marshals not in the position that they're supposed to be in, or things that are not happening on the ground as what they should be?
Yes. Any?
Hi.
Yep.
Hi, ma'am. Yes, we do. We do have the tracking through the OBC and also spot check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I hope that is also true for the other locations. And this is among the things that we're going to focus on for the unloading retraining. Yeah. And also compliance check. Yeah. So from OBC, from actual on the ground physical checks as well by the haulier team lah. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right. Any questions or any thoughts, insights that people want to share before we move on to the next hand down?
This is high potential, yeah, because we had fatality back then in 2022, and therefore we don't take the minor left leg injury lightly, and this serves as also another reminder lah to all of us, yeah, to keep the guard on, yeah.
I think for me, we've also had incidents where we've had our site heroes climb below our truck to get to the other side.
Yeah.
So I'm worried that if we only share internal to our hauliers, it has to be both ways. Like we have to
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
that retraining of the site heroes. How sometimes
But that one our captain buat UAE and
terus
really
report.
remind you boleh
Things like that. Yeah.
yeah, very dangerous and whatnot.
Put your
He
life in
also
check.
intervened there, and then I remember that
Right.
that incident.
Good.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. I'll hand it over to Reza.
Yep, thank you, Hakim.
3 or 4.
So I'll be sharing a few incidents related to medical, things I would call medically induced incidents or accidents where they happen either in our operations or close to our operations, right? So I'll briefly go through the list of incidents that we have here. All right, the first one, our tanker driver was actually en route to the loading terminal. It was actually quite nearby to the terminal already when he unfortunately suffered a seizure, which caused him to lose control of the truck and drive the truck into a number of third-party cars that are parked next to the road and further into the wall of the neighboring terminal. So this driver, when we checked with the haulier, he had no prior history of any related illnesses. He had no red flags or no indications of fatigue whatsoever. So it was just quite unfortunate at the time that this happened, right? Okay, the second one, this is actually in Malaysia as well. So contractor staff, he felt chest pains and experienced cramping in his arm. So he was not able to continue working. He was not mobile. And he was then subsequently brought to the nearest hospital to be given medical treatment, to be administered. So the staff actually had passed its fitness to work evaluation last year, but he felt the symptoms for around 2 weeks prior to the incident itself, but was not properly raised, right? And the third one, another contractor staff, he suffered a seizure and he collapsed in the terminal office building. So he was then brought to the nearest hospital for medical treatment as well. So for this staff, he had actually suffered a similar case, a similar seizure before, but from his reassessment of fitness to work, he was declared fit. So he went on to work. So in these cases, yeah, we were kind of lucky that it did not escalate into further. It did not get to work. Yeah, further. So it was attended to in time now, right? So what can we learn from this incident, right? So first off, for our hauliers, how do we know that our captain's conditions might change in between fitness to work assessments? So I've been made to understand that FTW assessments is once every 2 years, right? So in between then and now, what happens if the conditions change? What happens if captains experience something that he did not experience before during the previous fitness to work, right? And what if our captains are afraid to declare of their medical fitness? What if they're afraid there might be some potential monetary repercussions? Maybe he feels that he might be cast aside, might be not given maybe a long haul trip because of the condition that he has, right? So then that ties into the third point. how do we then help our captains to open up about their fitness to work on a daily basis? You know, instead of perhaps in a way punishing them, how do we then get them to be transparent about this, right? And ensure that there's minimal effects to the captain. Right? And then the last one, now that we're in mode 3, our pre-trip discussion stuff has been made optional. So, holidays might choose to opt out of it. But then how do we then ensure that our captains are fit throughout the day, beyond the first assessment of FTW at the beginning of the shift? For the subsequent trips, then how do we then ensure that he remains fit for the trips that he has in the day to come? So that's something for our holidays to perhaps look into, right? And for our captains, so I'd like our holidays to stress to the captains to be honest during their fitness to work declaration. Just be transparent about whatever conditions, whatever illnesses that our captains may have, what kind of medications that captains are consuming that may or may not, have effect on their fitness to work. So get that message across, get our captains to be transparent, remove the negative connotations that we have maybe related to certain diseases, right? And for captains as well, if at any point in their work they feel that they're not at their 100%, so please do escalate that. Please inform your immediate supervisor that you are feeling maybe unwell or maybe a bit down with the weather, and reassess your fitness to work again before continuing with the journey. Right, and for captains as well, we've stressed this a few times before that we should always look out for each other. Our captains should, look to their peers and maybe recognize that they may be not feeling well at all. There may be signs that they're not, at their best, be it physically or mentally. So if they do see that in their colleagues, raise that and inform the management at the soonest. All right. So in regards to this incident, perhaps I would like to call upon Kotamas to give a bit of sharing for incidents that are maybe we call it medically related. Seeing that you guys have experience with something almost similar, handling cases that are related to. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Reza.
Yeah, Hafiz, go ahead, Hafiz.
So for Kotamas, first of all, we conduct medical for our captain 2 years. What's for 2 years lah kan? Depends for the captain's health or fitness to work lah. And then every day we check by toolbox meeting and TBM. Hello? Hello?
Yep. We hear you, Hafiz. Yep.
Okay. And then before I think last 3 years ago, we facing the once of our captain facing not the heart attack lah, but muscle cramp, I think, at Keningau area, Keningau station.
Oh yeah.
And then after the site hero sent to the hospital, only minor minor injury only lah, only the muscle cramp, and no issue with first of all we received the call from the station about they said our captain facing the heart attack or something else lah macam tu. But after after the captain going to the nearest hospital, only the muscle pain lah. Okay, and then after Mod 3, we send our captains to the OHD doctor. Then from there, we decide to menetapkan kita punya captain ni macam 2 tahun sekali lah, except kalau ada isu during the medical. But for now,
I want to ask, remember last year we had that one incident and our captain, I think the day before he was taking flu medication. He was involved in that incident on the way to, I think, on the way to Kota Marudu, I think. So what did you do after that? Because he was taking medication the day before, and I think this came up in your report as well.
that's why
So
I
maybe
said,
some learning from that.
Yep. Okay, during toolbox meeting or pre-trip discussion, we asked for our captain either they take any decision or not lah. And then if macam yang macam high blood or apa kencing manis, that's I think normal lah, not affected to the something yang membuatkan captain to fatigue or what. But for the flu, we monitor lah the pills or what yang captain tu ambil.
Yeah, to me, we discussed quite a bit on general medical situation, but from this incident sharing today, is worrying to see that we have 3 seizure cases in 1 month. Yeah. So, what aggravate that, illness to come? Yeah, some with no history of it, some with history of it. So this is the thing that we need to stress out to, I think, rightly mention around those points that you raise around kita jaga kita, we take care each other, be honest about your condition, and so on and so forth lah. Yeah.
Maybe I can share a bit, Pakistan. So you did mention that there was a captain not feeling well, went to the doctor, got flu medicine, right? I think it's important for all holidays to talk to your MOHAP or your approved clinic. If it's your captains going there, the doctor must prescribe them non-drowsy medication, not. Or if there's no choice, it's drowsy, they must tell the driver, and also maybe without talking about the driver's issue, captain's issue, at least inform the operations that, hey, I've given a particular captain drowsy medicine. Yeah, I think you can control this if your clinic is the approved clinic and you talk to your doctor. Explain to him, it's not we want to know what happened because that's private, that's confidential, medical. But kita punya driver, our drivers can be driving on the road and it can be very, very dangerous if they take drowsy medication. So if they go to our approved doctor, the doctor should know lah, not to give that, number 1. Number 2, the third incident there, I want us to also balance the 2. Incident number 3, the contractor's staff suffered a seizure in the office, right? And before this, he was actually working for Shell as a contractor outside in the field. He already kena one time the seizure. So we said that, hey, hang on. When he saw the doctor, we said, no, when you're working outside in the operations, it's dangerous if you have a seizure, right? So he became a TOA, working in the office, right? Now, I think all of us are very, very good in the sense that if somebody has seizure in the office, it's controllable, right? And his risk profile also less. So we allow him to work, right? And he's an office worker. So incident number 3 is fail safe. It's not fail lucky, it's fail safe because the the contractor staff already had seizure loop.
Mhm.
We stopped him from operation. We put him inside the office. Desk job, TOA. Guess what? He kena seizure again, but we said fail safe, and then we sent him to hospital. He got treatment. Right? I think all of us need to learn from incident number 3. Incident number 3 is okay to happen. We don't want it to happen, but it's okay to happen sebab kita fail safe. Right? Now, I think we need to work with your captain also. If they have certain condition, maybe they're not fit to drive anymore because it's dangerous. Not just for them, to public also. Yeah. And I don't think we can live with ourselves if something bad happens lah. But maybe there are also jobs for them in our operation yang selamat. So they feel safe. Right? If you all can share incident number 3, we encourage our contractor to tell us of their past history. We find them work that is safe for them to do, even though they have the condition. Bukan buang kerja saja. I think that's an important point.
Yeah. Point back. Thanks.
Hmm.
Okay, we have 15 minutes.
Okay.
Cases.
Just to go back on the case number 2, I just wanted to highlight something small one. So I think we are already exposed whenever the to work is over a 2-year period. So this gentleman actually was coming up to his renewal, but he was feeling sick earlier and didn't say anything because he felt it's okay. So I understand now we're not doing that safety check before you start work. We really have to think about 2 years. A lot of things can change about health. Really have those conversations about how you're feeling before you start work. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. All right, Risa.
All right. Yeah. All right. So this one is about a worker who tripped on equipment, leading to a minor injury. So what happened was a consultant who was performing a routine check at the loading terminal. At the time, a tanker was discharging, so he wanted to access the opposite end of the skid, but he encountered a loading arm blocking the normal passage road. So instead of taking the long way around, this consultant attempted to step over the loading arm, which resulted in him tripping, and also while he tripped, his safety helmet got displaced in his tercabut, and he suffered minor cuts to his eye, which also led to bleeding. He was given medical treatment afterwards. Right. So what can we learn immediately from this incident is, especially for our captains, I know that you have modules around, climbing in and out of your trucks, and while maintaining a 3-point contact at all times. Right? So get our captains familiar with the vehicle that they are driving, and not every truck has the same configurations. Some trucks have 3 steps, some trucks have 4 steps. So consult with their trainers, consult with your cikgus on the best practice on climbing in and out of the truck to prevent.
Ada dalam video.
Yes.
Right foot.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
3 steps, 4 steps.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
Different, huh?
Different.
Everybody assumes simple, climb in and out of lorry. Senang saja.
I have to say thank you to Ben as well. I think KPD
Yep,
for
yep.
showing me as well.
It wasn't until we tried it ourselves that we realized. All right. So second one, while the captains are on duty at the retail side at discharging, so it's best for them to avoid stepping over hoses, and if you can, avoid crossing hoses while this. So goes to tank 6, the other one is cross. So that exposes you to the risk of tripping in case you need to move about. So on the topic of tripping hazards as well, maybe you can teach our captains to be strategic with their hose placements, and also the discharging sequence. Maybe we can look into discharging from back to front in order to minimize the need to step over hoses, right? And PPE, it's to be worn at all times. It's there for a reason. So in this case, the case I mentioned earlier, the consultant wasn't wearing his chin strap, so his helmet got displaced and he knocked his head on the gantry equipment, causing cuts. Had he worn his chin strap, his helmet may have not been displaced, and the impact may have been reduced. together.
So tak pakai.
He wasn't wearing
Okay.
he wasn't wearing team strap. Yeah, and I think we stressed this quite a number of times already to our captains that if you notice something is not right, speak up, intervene, and get the condition as safe as possible for consuming work. All right. So maybe for this one. Oh, all right. Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So I think, for this one, I am reminded of last year or 2 years ago where one of our hauliers as well, their captains fell from the truck from the, I think they were going up a Mercedes Actros, which had 4 steps versus the usual Volvo or Scania, which has 3 steps. So it's not just about 3-point contact, but it's also about knowing where you are, what you're going to be driving, or where you're going to be going, and ensuring that we are familiar with whatever vehicle or environment that we're going into. So one of the things I always tell the hauliers, if they're using an Actros or maybe they're using a different brand of truck which has different steps, have that toolbox in the morning with the captain, remind them that they are driving this truck which has 3 or 4 steps. So be careful, be aware that this changes which leg you start and how many steps you have to go up as well.
Let's go to the last.
Finally, our 5th incident is about the street light lamp which fell from 8 meters. So this is a short description of this incident which occurred in the Philippines where a lamp was seen to have fallen at the roadside. So luckily there was no activity when this happened, but it was spotted by one of the workers who was quite far away from the area. So this glass and aluminium frame, which fell from around 8 meters, had a weight of 4.5 kilograms. And that would have been very, very disastrous, I think, if there was any work or anyone passing beneath that street light. So in the context of road transport, what do we think about this? For our hauliers who are working on top of on top of our trailers, think about your tools. Do we secure them when we're working on top of our trailers, or are they just lying around? And do our staff, when they go into maintenance workshops, when they are conducting maintenance on our trucks, especially on top of the trailers, are they wearing that complete PPE, similar to what Reza was saying? Are there chin straps on? Are there hard hats tightly on? So simple PPE checks. And number 3, especially relevant for when we're working on top of the trailer, how do we know that any tools are completely removed from the top of that trailer, right? Any wrenches or any wiring plugs that have been brought up and down, how do we know that they're not left on top? It's about good maintenance execution and making sure that all of those tools and items are cleaned up and house kept afterwards. For our captains, what do they need to think when they hear this incident is think about them at the loading bay, at the discharge areas. Look at their surroundings. Are there any branches? Are there any street lights? Are there any potential hazards above and around them? And this doesn't have to happen all the time, but I think once in a while, take in the view, take a look at where those hazards might come from and just form a quick visual look to see if all things are good. Usually if something's not okay, it's a bit shaky, you might see it wobble here and there, that could be cause for concern. So then if they do see that, how do they then identify and report these potentially unsafe equipment? All right, so I think this is all for this incident. Any thoughts from the room before we close out?
I think it is important for us to be aware of our surroundings. Don't hang around suspended objects, be whatever it is. Yeah, that's line of fire. Yeah, when we are driving on the road, we are not the one yang suka, drive side by side with heavy vehicles which carry piles of what do you call it, steel coil. We wait behind, the kind of thing. We know all those things are line of fire. It's just about to remind ourselves don't be the type yang suka, tag along behind a truck, which carry another big machineries, another big equipment, another big item, steel coil or whatever, or by the side of it when it is, cornering, that kind of thing. So just a reminder to myself and all of us. Yeah.
Right.
Back to you, Hakim.
I think with that, we close our review. Maybe perhaps some closing words from Ben.
I think Saiful said it best, guys. So I think important for us is not just to look at this incident and say that it cannot happen to me. Right? Anything can happen to us. Look at the bigger picture. There was one incident about marshalling. The marshalling plans up to date. Can it happen to you? Right? If we are talking about other people about reversing, I'm not at the retail station, I'm at the haulier yard, but reversing is reversing. I want all of you to start concentrating on the bigger picture. All the safety officers and all here, please have a look at all these incidents. What can go wrong? What is the learning from the incident? So the learning is not about you have a PLS that sits inside an API box and you open, it got sparking. No, it's about proper bonding, proper earthing, understanding there's a risk, right? I think when we start taking a step back, looking at the bigger picture, trying to understand the bigger issues around each of these incidents, that's when the maximum value comes about in terms of the learning that we have today. So thank you, everyone. Please continue to stay safe. Yeah. Kita jaga kita. We are brothers keeper, right? We look after one another. There are a couple of incidents here. We didn't mention too much, but there were lots of people around, but nobody intervened. Okay. So we don't want to share which incident and all. I want to share with you the general principle. If we see something that's not safe, right, please intervene. Because if you were the individual who got hurt and you didn't know or you didn't notice, I think you'll be thankful for somebody to have prompted you to be safe. Better still, if it's your family, your loved ones, your friends, if they also overlook or forgot, I think you'll be very, very grateful if somebody intervened. Yeah. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for your 1 hour of your time. Please go out there. It's not just stopping today. Go and share this story. Go and talk to your captains, your team members. Yeah. It's not just about captains out there on the field. To all the people from the terminals, to all the people, all contractors on site. Yeah. Talk to one another. Could this happen to us? Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hari Raya.
Yep.
Thank you.
Besok, after the Buddhist guy will get angry. Semua dapat.
This weekend semua dapat.
We share the Microsoft form.
Yeah.
Boleh. Get to
Dekat atas.
I like that one.
Tapi I'm gonna.
Thank you for KPD for stepping up and down the truck.
Oh,
Yeah.
See how you are twisting your body trying to get into the truck. If you step the wrong foot first.
Something new we learned as well, me and Hakim that day. We thought it was the same, regardless which leg you put up first.
How long have you been in the transport?
2 years. 2 years.
How many times have you climbed a truck?
First time.
Our truck first time, my previous job I did a few times, but I didn't pay attention because I need to get in and out as fast as possible.
If you are there, the second last step is the left leg or the right leg. Tak masuk lah. How?
Dirilah dulu. Adjust lah dulu.
Yeah, but let's recommend them to do one. I'm not sure whether we do one a week because kita ada 5 kan, 5 sharing. One a week, or one a day.